Genshin Impact has been out for quite a while now, and there's been a whole host of healers. And back in version 1.1, or was it 1.2, I made a video based on what the best healers were in Genshin Impact. Now, since then, a few healers have come out, mainly with Sayu, Kuki Shinobu, Kokomi, a couple others. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I have made a bunch of parties in game with all the healers in them. This is gonna be based. This is not based on like who's like worst to best. It's just literally based off of what level they were when I went to the quick setup. So yeah, we're talking about what characters are the best healers in Genshin Impact, and maybe we might go a bit into like their other utility as well, just in case. You know, if you're trying to build a team around your healers. So yeah, if you guys enjoy this kind of content and you want to support the channel, you can also feel free to sub, because a small percentage of people watching videos are subscribed. And if you're new or return to the channel, we do a lot of Genshin Impact content over here, and we're trying to grow the channel again, because we did fall off quite a while ago, and we're still trying to get back on our feet. So yeah, if you want to support the channel, feel free to sub. But let's get into it. So first off, a new addition since 1.2 is Sayu. Now, Sayu is a Anemo Claymore healer, which only heals using her burst. So to heal with Sayu, you need to have her burst active, and since she is Anemo, she can generate quite a few particles by doing this little like roll that she has. Like, it does feel a bit like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like perfect, but there is a lot of usage for like rolls like this on your team, so it's very decent. Also Anemo, so it kind of swells with a support, like a supportive role, but she feels a bit like a jack of all trades, because her healing is actually based off of her attack, and so therefore you want to try and build maybe either an attack percent weapon to improve her healing, or you want to run something with energy recharge to get her burst up more often so she can heal more consistently. So it's a bit of a, you have a couple options there as well. And for artifacts, if you want to build her as an Anemo support with the option of healing, then maybe go for 4-piece Viridescent Venera, because of the fact that Swirl decreases resistance, so you can get maybe a bit more support out of her. But going off of a pure healing sense, I would just say put a 4-piece Maiden Beloved on. Definitely the 4-piece, because of the fact that your healing like increases by 20% when you use a skill or a burst, and since her skill is tied to her burst, it will be kind of useful. Now I believe the way the burst works is it'll do one burst of healing, kind of like Barbara, and we'll go on to her in a minute, and then it will do little bits of healing on top of that. So, for example, right now, it's 115.2% of my attack plus 765 at level 4, and the little bursts are a bit smaller. So, I'd be healing for about 1,000 per pulse consistently, and then I'd be doing like a burst of about 2,000 at level 20, which is actually fairly good. It is really good. Now, I don't think Sayu is the best healer in the game, but there isn't really any other Anemo healers apart from Jean, which we'll get onto as well later. But as a 4-star, I say she gets the green light from me. She is a fairly good healer, with the option of making her a support. Now, doesn't have the best healing, but we'll talk about everyone else now. Diona, I would 100% recommend using Diona if you have her as a healer, because she can also, if you press or hold your skill activation button, it also creates a shield for you. Now, this creates a scenario where Diona will not only heal you, but also shield you, and that makes her extremely good for just any team, really, as well. And she's also the cryo element, which is... oh, actually, no, is it fairly premium? I've heard people say cryo is fairly premium as an element, but cryo is also good for reaction. Even like tapping the heal applies cryo, so it's good for just doing reaction damage. And also, if you do get her to C6, when you heal above 50%, you do also get elemental mastery. So she is really good for doing reactions or big numbers, essentially. So Diana is a fairly good option. So of course her E makes the shield. So to do healing, you need to use her burst, which will give you continuous healing based on her HP. Now, because of this, there are 2 weapons that I would recommend then. Either Favonius Warbow, which I would say is probably her best in slot, because you want to get her burst up as much as possible to increase her healing potential. Or if you're like a new player, there's a lot of slingshots on my account. Recurve Bow increases your HP, and that is the only bow in the game, apart from the one that... actually, I'm pretty sure the one that Yelon has increases your HP a little bit as well. But that's a 5-star weapon, and it's suited more to Yelan, and it's more of a DPS weapon, so no. So Recurve Bow increases your HP, and honestly, I'd go for Vonius just to get a burst up more often, but her healing is extremely high, as well as the fact that she has supportive capabilities to back it up. So I'd say Diona is potentially, she's up there near the top of the list of healers. I'd say she's probably one of the best healers in the game, and if you have her, I would 100% recommend trying to use her. Now, I know I say this while she's level 52, but that's just because there's other characters that I use over her. Because listen, I used Ong Li, so there was a point in time where I just didn't need to build her, but yeah, honestly, I recommend building her. I was in the process of building her. I just need to get more books because right now I'm kind of broke. But yeah, Diona's one of the best healers in the game. I would highly recommend her. Now, next up is Barbara. She's probably your starter healer that you get in Genshin, because everyone is guaranteed a free Barbara. Not the outfit, though. The outfit you had to get last year for free, but you know, Barbara's a guaranteed healer that you get. Now, but by default, I recommend putting on Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayers. Preferably Refinement 5, because what it does is increases your HP, which that's not tied to Refinement, just increases your HP, which scales her healing to be a bit higher. And as well as that, the passive for Thrilling Tales increases the attack of the next character that takes the field. So, ideally what you want to do is, you want to go to Barbara, activate her healing, do a bit of healing, and then when you switch off to, let's say, I don't know, Ganyu, her attack gets increased because of Barbara using Thrilling Tales Dragon Slayers. It's probably one of the best weapons to have as a free-to-play, and it's really good for it's just a good weapon to have on your supports, and it just works the best on Barbara. Now, I've not used Barbara in a long time, and we'll get onto that in a minute, but I use ideally you want to use a 4-piece Maiden Beloved set. You're going to hear that a lot in this video, actually. 4-piece Maiden Beloved is just good. I'm also going to get to C6. So C6 does revive you, and that's a really useful thing to have, because there's only one other character that does that, and that's Chi-Chi C6. I'm not going to lie, unless you're the unluckiest person in the world, you are not getting Chi-Chi C6 anytime soon. So, honestly, yeah, Barbara. Now, her healing works the fact that she has to be on the field to hit enemies, and that'll heal, or you got the panic button, which is her burst. Now, there is one problem with Barbara, and that is, if you start healing, you'll see above the HP bar, every time you get healed by Barbara's, like ring, it will apply the Hydro element to you. Now, first off, in the old Spiral Abyss, like the original 1.0 version, it was a cryo abyss, so you'd get froze every 3 seconds because of this. Now that is a weakness to Barbara. That's something you've got to take in mind, because you will get frozen a lot, and it is a miserable experience when it happens. But yeah, so just don't go anywhere near Dragonspine, don't go anywhere near cryo, and I'm sure she'll be great. But jokes aside, her healing is actually fairly good. It's really good for the early game. It scales a bit off late game. There are better late game healers than Barbara, but if you're an early game player between, I don't know, AR, under AR 45, I would say Barbara 100% you could be using, because she did carry me up till then, but there are better things that will help you later on in the game when you get towards end game, like AR 55. So yeah, Barbara isn't too bad. Next up is one of the newest characters, the most recent healers, which is Kuki Shinobu. Now, Kuki Shinobu's entire kit rolls around losing HP, so when she uses her healing circle, she loses HP, but it heals rather rapidly. Now, something important to keep in mind is that this ring ticks more than Sayu does. So, that's just a comparison I saw online. That doesn't really mean anything, but this ring ticks about... It ticks a lot. I know it does, but it ticks more than Sayu's burst does. Now, people will say, okay, but Kooky Shinobu's kind of dog because her damage is low. Listen, her damage isn't the highest, but she's more of a reaction-based character, so she works better on your reaction-based teams. But as a healer, her healing numbers are really high, actually. Like, 4.8% of your max HP, plus 542 at level 5. It can get increased more to, 5.1. Now, given the fact that naturally she has a decent amount of HP, I know 16,000 doesn't look very high at level 70, but we also got to counter into the fact that I don't really have any artifacts. I'm running a level 12 flower and an energy recharge stand, but you want to be running HP percentage on her. And I'm also running 4-piece Sensitive to the Millilith, because this increases your attack, and I'm using it to buff. I'm using it to buff my other characters. You could be running like you could be running like Maiden Beloved as well as like a 2-piece and then a 2-piece Tenacity, but I'm using it as a buffing set because that ring does a lot of reaction-based damage, and that reaction-based damage, it works really well with Tenacity Millith because it will buff your active DPS's character's damage. But either way, to get onto the healing side of her, the healing is really good. It's very consistent, and I believe as well, the ideal thing for Kooky Shinobu is you want to get her HP lower than 50%, similar to how Hu Tao works in a way, because when you get below 50%, your healing effectiveness goes up, and as well, her like healing amount will be also be increased by her Elemental Mastery. So if you get a bad roll and get a bunch of Elemental Mastery on her artifacts, it's also a dub because it increases her healing furthermore. So overall, Kuki Shinobu, a very good character to have. Personally, Favonius Sword, but ideally, like Iron Sting is also a very, very good one because of the fact that we just read that her Elemental Mastery increases her healing effectiveness. You know, you don't need energy recharge, but I mean, you're using it because, you know, I don't have any other swords, but Iron Sting is probably one of the best weapons to have because that just increases her healing effectiveness even more. So, yeah, Kuki Shinobu, I would say she's actually a fairly solid healer. Not the best, not the worst, but like, if you want a healer that also helps with supportive reaction damage, Kuki Shinobu is a good option to have. You might have got her on the most recent banner, you might not have. You know, she's fairly new, so I don't expect too many people to have her, but overall fairly decent. Now, we're getting into like the OGs now. Noelle is fairly good, to be honest. Like she isn't. I don't know. I know how I feel about her. Her healing's based off of her defense, and I believe, yeah. So you need to be using her shield. So you need to use her shield to start healing, and then you need to start hitting enemies to heal your characters. Now, I believe if you get her Constellation 1, which you do on the starter banner, 9 times out of 10, the chance of healing is 100% per hit. So you can be... So she does shield you, and she does heal you, but there is no, like, you know, massive burst of healing that some other characters get, but consistency is there, and with her, like, with her ultimate, well, her burst, she does gain an attack bonus, which doesn't actually help her at all, but yeah, you just want to stack as much defense on her as possible. Ideally, I mean, I believe there is a set now that increases your defense, Husk of Opulent Dreams. Now, I say maybe put a 2-piece of that on her, and then maybe either Maiden Beloved or something with energy recharge on to increase her damage potential, but you know, her healing is very consistent. It's not the highest you can get, but I have seen some cracked Noelle players who have, you know, put a lot into the healing, and I believe it scales quite a lot actually. Like, I say that as I see it increased by 1%, 1.6%, which then again 1.6% of 1,400 is a decent amount. It's like a couple hundred like extra HP you heal, but yeah, Noelle's healing is consistent. It's not the highest, but if you want a consistent shielder and a healer who's also Geo to maybe bolster your squad in a like a Guro Ito comp maybe, then she can be okay. And also she is a character you'll get on the guaranteed like starter banner, so you know, I'm not gonna knock her too much there because it's a good option for players who are starting out. So yeah, I also recommend White Blind. It's a craftable weapon you get as well, which you can get from a Claymore billet, which you can get in the Leeway treasure shop. Now, Sangonomiya Kokomi, the best healer in the game, in my honest opinion, in terms of numbers. Now, there is a set based for Kokomi because of this, and it is the Ocean Hued Clam set. When you get a 4-piece, it will make her damage rise quite a lot. Now, something important to mind is Kokomi cannot crit, so lol, just don't crit forehead. So it kind of incentivizes you to put all of your like stats into HP. So I also recommend something like Prototype Amber with her. Happy days. Or if you don't want to make Prototype Amber and you want to make, I don't know, the Mappa Mare or something, Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayers, again, brilliant weapon for a healer. Now, I'd either recommend, well, I'm running a weird 2-piece Tenacity, 2-piece Ocean Hued, but you can run 4-piece Ocean Hued if you want to do a bit of extra damage. And her healing is honestly unmatched. I'm gonna go jump off a cliff to demonstrate. I'm trying to find one that doesn't. Oh yeah, no. Yeah, we go. I can jump off this and that won't kill me. Wow, okay, but that didn't do as much as I thought. But already I'm healing for 4,000 per tick at level 70. So it's a level 70 with literally no like investment. Like I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'm actually like plus 16, plus 12 on a lot of the stuff. You want to go healing bonus as well. She's healing 4k consistently with the jellyfish, and then also her burst is the same as Barbara's E in that every time she hits an opponent when her burst is active, she will do a bit more healing. Now I don't know what I can't remember what the scaling was off the top of my head, but the scaling is there, like 6.1% of your max HP, and also she gets a damage bonus based on her HP as well. So with 29k HP, 6% is a solid. It's like 3k. Mathematics. No, I don't do maths anymore, but that's still a really high amount. Yeah, it's actually. Oh wait, it's nearly the same as the Yeah, it's about 3k. So about 3k with a normal attack, and you can spam normal attacks fairly quickly with her. Like her attack speed is fairly good. That's already like 9k HP you've healed there. So yeah, honestly, Kokomi S+ tier healer. Now, is she worth pulling for on a 5-star banner? If you really need a healer and you don't like any of the other 4 stars on this list, then Kokomi is very good. She also helps counter the Rift Hounds because we all know that they're really annoying and a piece of shit. So yeah, Kokomi, very good option. Next up, Bennett. Bennett, objectively, a very good healer. Now he can only heal you to 70% of your max HP, but he is really good as a support and as a healer. He's got very good utility. So first off, energy recharge. Well, yeah, you want to go energy recharge and with a very high base attack because of the fact that his circle not only heals you but increases your attack as well. Now, that is very good. Artifact wise, just go with I mean, I went Noblesse, but you can, like, if you want to build a healing Bennett, which is basically makes you invincible. You ideally want to go again, Maiden Beloved. You're not gonna get tired of me saying that, with a tenacity in the middle of the second piece. Constellations, C1. Very nice, because of the fact that his Fantastic Voyage is what gives you the healing. Now, if you build Bennett correctly and you have a lot of energy recharge, he'll get this up very easily within a couple of taps of his elemental skill. He'll get his burst up, and it will heal you based off of Bennett's max HP, which will give you continuous regen of 10% of his HP, which 10% of 29k is 2,000, like about 3,000, and plus another 1,200 at, well, it's at level 10, but ideally this is like level 7, which can be upgraded even further. You're healing about 4,000 HP a tick, and the ticks are very quickly. Now, that is really good because of the fact that he increases your attack and he heals. So if you have a Bennett, no surprise, just put him on your team, even if you don't like him. He is one of the best healers in the game. Probably, like, top 3 at least, I'd like to say. So yeah, Bennett, one of the best healers in the game. Anyways, Chi-Chi. Her only purpose is to heal. Don't try her for damage. But her healing is scaling off of her attack. So you want to pick something like the Flute or Lion's Roars, like, if you really, like, don't have anything else. But ideally something like the Flute, or you can go energy recharge with Favonia's Sword again. Now, again, I'm using the generic Maiden Beloved artifacts there, but her way of healing is she either uses her E, or she can hit enemies to put a talisman on them, and talisman will heal you based on her attack every time you hit them with the active character when the talisman is on. Okay, basic to explain that better is, let's say Chi-Chi auto-attacks a Heli Show, it has a talisman on them. Your Noelle needs to heal, so your Noelle hits the character with the talisman on it, and then Noelle will heal based off of Chi-Chi's attack, which is 113%. 113% of 1,300 is not much, but that's about 2,500 HP a heal, and then the continuous regen is actually fairly good. Now I'm going to jump off a cliff again with Chi-Chi because I can't remember how well she heals. I think if I'm correct, her healing is really good. And also, you can run her in a, like... You can run her in like a cryo comp to get the cryo resonance. And also, this like little orb thing does like do a bit of cryo applications, so you can like use her in some way with like a Hydro DPS. But like I wouldn't recommend using her for any other supportive application other than healing. Damn, she actually didn't heal that much. This really disproves my entire point here. But yeah, honestly, if you build Chi-Chi quite far, she can become one of your best healers. Probably on the same level. Like, probably no, just below than Kokomi. Like, her main purpose is to heal. Like, that is it. Like, her healing numbers are very high when you put a lot of investment into her, but again, you can get similar like levels of healing from Bennett. Kuki ticks more, so you get more ticks with Kooky Shinobu than you do with Chi-Chi. Let me just point, that's a very crucial point. Or you can just use Diona as a cryo support because again, you get the shield. So Chi-Chi, whilst having high numbers, there are better supportive like characters that you could be using over her, but if you're using her for pure numbers, she is a very good healer. Now, there are 2 healers left, and there are some meme ones after this, but we'll give them honorable mentions. Jean. So, she is a standard banner 5-star. You'll get her at some point in your Genshin Impact career. Trust me, you never want to see a standard banner character, but let's say you got Jean. Now, Jean doubles up as a really good Animo Shredder. Now, put a 4-piece Viridescent Veneer on her, which I'm not, because I don't know why, but I put it as like a hybrid, like Animo DPS, I guess. So she's doing a bit of Animo damage, but you can go like pure attack as well because of the fact that Jean's healing is based off of her attack. Now, every time you do a normal attack with Jean, you have a 50% chance to heal her based off of 15% of her attack. So again, it's not that high, because I've not put much investment into her attack, because I'm going with like crit and all of that, because I'm doing main healing with the panic button, which is Dandelion Breeze. Now, it will do one big burst of healing, which is 289% of her attack at level 3, by the way, plus 1,800, which is about a burst of about 6,000 to 7,000 by just pressing the button. Already, because she's Animo, she gets a lot of particles anyways, so it's very good. And also she does continuous regeneration of about 10% of that. And again, it's level 3. Like, this scales really hard because from 3 to 4, you already gain a percentage increase of about 20%. So, yeah, her healing effectiveness is actually really high. And also, if you get her passive talent too, whenever you use this, you regenerate 20% of your energy already. So you only need to get about, what's 20% of 80? I don't know, about 15. So you only need to generate like a little bit less energy. So overall, Jean probably one of the best healers again in terms of like burst healing. Like, she'll give you a big burst and then she'll do some consistent healing. So again, Jean is highly up there. If you got her and you want to build, you need a healer to build, that will be extremely good. And I believe she also cleanses you in the Abyss. So hey, you need a cleanser as well to cleanse status effects. I would 100% pick Jean. She is very good. She's also very hot. That gives her a bit of a bonus. But yeah, honestly, Jean is an extremely good support. And last up on our main list is Xingqiu. Now, Xingqiu, just don't even bother. Like, you can if you really want to, because when you use a rain sword, which is when you use his E, you get a basically when you do this, you have these little 4 swords around you. Every time a sword is broken, you regenerate HP based on 6% of his max HP. But I don't know who would build max HP on Xingqiu. There probably is, actually, if you go to the Hourglass. Probably someone who does. I stand correct. Actually, no, just 2.1% of people do. So, no, just don't. But he can heal, and that is what it is. Now, other characters that can heal you. Number 1, if you have a C6 Zhongli. Now, if you have a C6 Zhongli, why are you watching this video? You've already beaten the game. There is literally no point. Number 2, you can use Kaya. Now, Kaya will regenerate 15% of his attack when he uses his E. Again, I mean, I don't know why you're using Kaya as a healer, but you can. Apparently, your website said Guru is a healer. I don't. Just where is he a healer? I want to know, please. Thank you very much. And then technically you can make any character a healer as long as you use this weird prototype amber, because you regenerate a bit of HP every time, like for like every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. So, I mean, you know. But if I was to rank anyways, if I was to rank the best healers from worst to best based on this video, starting from the worst, Xingqiu, just don't use him. Secondly, it's like second worst, I would probably say Noelle in terms of raw numbers, because I feel like she's better at being a shielder than a healer. And then I would say Barbara, because she freezes you. That's the only reason why, because she freezes you and she has to be on the field to do healing. I'd say Sayu, Kuki, and then going up from there. Honestly, I'm not gonna put Chi-Chi that high. Chi-Chi, Diona, and then probably the best healers you can get Jean, Bennett, and then Kokomi. That is my order. So yeah, let me know down below, what healers are you guys using, and how are you building your healers? Because I'm interested. You know, I'm interested in this. But yeah, I hope everyone's having a great day. Take care, all of you, and I'll see you guys in another video really, really soon. Have a lovely day, everyone.